This episode of Becoming the Best Version is sponsored by the Law Office of Jazz Jordan, the injury firm that fights for you. If you've been hurt in a car accident, on the job, or due to someone else's negligence, you shouldn't have to face insurance companies alone. Jazz Jordan is committed to getting you the compensation you deserve while you focus on healing and becoming the best version of yourself. So if you or someone you know has been injured, reach out to the Law Office of Jazz Jordan. They don't get paid unless you win, because your recovery, your rights, and your future matter.
In a world where people lack truth and understanding, the essence of individuality is fading slowly. Everybody has a story to tell, and on my show, you get to tell it. Welcome to the conversation. I'm Annietta Davis, and I have the blessing to interview my little sister, Cheryl Crowe.
Ma'am, I don't know you.
Lies and lies!
Ma'am, I don't.
This show is called Becoming the Best Version. She would know that because she was one of the co-creators of it. This is the holiday season, and a lot of people are dealing with a lot of things during the holiday season. And I know that our relationship, our family, and our relationship is not, most people don't have that. Don't have someone they can go to when they feel in some kind of way, and they can depend and lean on each other. So I think I want to take this show and speak inspiration to relationships and to the ability to weather and grow together. What would you think about that?
I think that that's a direction we can definitely go in. I don't think in any relationship, I don't think it happens overnight, even if you're siblings. You can have siblings and never speak to them, never talk to them, and never have that type of relationship where you even communicate honestly and openly. So I think with any relationship, it is how much work you put in. It's what you do when it matters. It's what you do when nobody's watching.
That part.
Because intent of heart is the biggest portion of anything that you do.
I agree. I totally agree. And that sometimes means you may feel like you're doing too much, and sometimes you may feel like you ain't doing enough. But I am of the mindset that God gives us the blessing of family, and we make it what we need it to be. I mean, whether we're blood relation, that we don't have any control over. But the relationship as sisters and as friends, that we have control over.
Yeah, you have to build those things. Like I said, just because you had the same mom and the same daddy don't mean you'll have that type of relationship. It doesn't mean that you communicate well or that you even understand what communicating is. A lot of people are in relationship and they don't know how to communicate. And that inability to communicate bleeds into every other relationship. It bleeds into everything else. And when you can't communicate to the people that you're supposed to hold the closest, then you don't do that with anyone.
And it definitely is a part of growth. You know what I'm saying? No relationship is cookie cutter. And you're going to have to put some in to get some out. But then it comes a time when you make a decision if you're going to be wholeheartedly or half-assed.
Well, I mean, every relationship is reciprocal. You're going to have to give to get. Now, sometimes you the giver and sometimes you the getter. But you've got to determine how much you're willing to put in. Because you got to put in to get something out. You can't always be there for somebody, giving to somebody, and they're taking everything you can give them. But when you need something, they have nothing to offer. That is more of a parasitic relationship, and nobody wants that.
I know I remember telling my sons that they need to learn how to pick up the phone and say, hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you. To not want anything, but just call to show some concern. Because when they in need, they want everybody to hang, to follow behind and give you this and give you that and give you this. But you can't even pick up the phone and say, hey, how you doing?
Well, I think a big portion of why our relationship is the way it is that's how we were raised. We were raised that we have each other, like it or not. You know what I'm saying? And we were raised that at the end of the day, I'm all you got. And so when it's just us, it's just us. And we have to find a way to work through those things. But I think that with time, and I can be honest, with time and age and growth, I've learned to cherish the relationship more than I did at other times. Because that sometimes in my life, it was a lot of work for me.
I think it was. I mean, I know that that happens in all relationships.
Yeah.
Especially sibling relationships. You have to grow into. I know that there's two sisters that we knew. I'm not going to call their names out of respect. There were two sisters that we knew, and they was trying. They saw us, and they thought, "I want a relationship like that," and we was like. Yeah, no. Build your relationship. Don't look at what somebody else got and say I want that because you don't know what they had to go through to
Well,
get there.
and people do that. People do that with all types of relationships. They do that with marriages. They do that in boyfriend and girlfriend. And you better be real, real careful what you're asking for because there's a price tag on. It's not free. It is not free to be in a relationship with anyone, and you have to understand that there's a cost, and it costs you something. It is, and it's not something that's just done overnight. Like I said, it's taken decades.
Yeah.
I mean, this year I'm blessed to be 50 years old. And I know, honey, looking 12, but it's taken decades to get to a place where I understand that I understand for every mountain he brought me over.
Yeah.
But in the time of being at the base of that mountain, looking up to see where I had to go, it was a hard road to go. It was a hard road to, when the boys were so much younger, it was a hard road to be in high school and have people thinking I got kids.
Right.
Because, what I'm saying, I always had my nephews. So I don't know a time in my life, I can't remember a time that I wasn't mamaing somebody. You know what I'm saying? That I wasn't taking care of something. So to be at a place where, my baby is 14, it's different. But our relationship grew out of the sacrifice of we all we got, and we got to learn how to work together, and we got to do this as a team.
Right.
Now it is the two of us, but in total it's 7 of us. So we all had to learn how to work together, and as a team we worked together. Somebody got the kids, somebody took the kids and did this. There was a time where I was the auntie who made all the money. So I was buying all the shoes and the clothes,
and
know
the
what
coats,
I'm saying?
the winter coats.
And yeah, that was my job. Is like, okay, well, call Auntie Key, she'll get it, So that was the job, and so I had to learn that was a blessing, not just a responsibility. Exactly. And you don't see it that way. Like I said, when you're at the base of a mountain and you're looking up, you don't see that as a blessing. You see that as a journey, and you won't realize it's a blessing until you make it to the top of the mountain.
I know the year 2000, we got 5 babies. Actually, we got 7 babies. We got 2 the end of 99 and 5 in 2000. It was 5 boys and 2 girls. And because our family is a close-knit family, it was nothing for all of us to be at one of the aunts' house, at my mama's house, or at any one of my aunts' house. It was nothing for us to have all the babies and all the baby stuff with the babies at one place. And because we have the 7 of us, we've been together our whole lives. So that's what we knew. And that's how we took care of our kids. That's how we raised our kids, and it was no, you don't have to mind auntie so-and-so. And it was never that. Oh, no. If my sister had to whoop my kids, I don't even see what they're telling me for. They might not want to tell me because I might beat them again because they're stressing me out for telling me what they know. So I'm just saying, we had that kind of relationship where I trusted my sister with them and with her kids as well. But I just know that that's a time of the past now. It's a time of the past, and I think that do you think that we are better or worse for that?
I think that it's a different time, and I think what you bring to the table is what you bring to the table. Our kids are different from other people's kids because they're used to being together. They know what it is. They know they have to take care of each other, and they understand things differently. They may not wear the closeness the way we do because it was a different time and there was a different space for us. But I don't think that it's so different. I just think that it's what do you value? Because right now everybody puts their value in how much money you got, where you get your clothes from, how much did you pay for it? And we raised our children. We raised our children. No matter what your clothes came from. My mama been telling me since I can remember, you want to impress me, have everybody walking around in some Cheryls. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and I remember
Your name on it.
And I remember telling my daughter, you want to impress me, have everybody walk around in some Stephanie's, because, baby, let's go. But if that's not what you're doing, I'm not interested in where you got it from. And it really kind of released them from the stress of trying to meet a standard that maybe you just can't meet. I taught my daughter, I'm quick to go in Goodwill. That's my spot. You know what I'm saying? I taught my daughter we go in Goodwill and find wonderful things and use them and wear them. And people asking, dang, where did you get that? And when you say you got it from Goodwill, they like, are you serious? I'm like, that serious. So, I taught my daughter the same. I taught my daughter the same way my mama taught me. The value is in you. It's not in the things.
Exactly. That's why I said the essence of individuality is fading slowly. And we have got to embrace the pure, the truth, the essence of things.
Well, I think AI and different things want you to make everything look a particular way. Nobody really cares. They're getting to a space where you don't really care what it is as long as it look good. And the reality of that is that everything that look good ain't good for you.
What you?
Because you know what? Salt and sugar look the same till you taste it. So you have to be really, really careful with that. And when you teach people to be individuals, that's scary for other people who want everybody to fit in. If you want everybody in the group to look the same, you get scared and uncomfortable when everybody don't. When everybody looks different and does things different and act different and don't say it the way you used to it being said, it can be very uncomfortable for somebody who wants to run the status quo of we want it to look just like this. And, that's just not, for me, that's just not something I can offer.
Well, I think that we as a family have taken the time to help our kids to understand that your individuality is not a bad thing, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And you should embrace it.
It's what makes you who you are.
Right.
And I tell my students all the time, all the other jobs are taken, so you're gonna have to be yourself. You're gonna have to be who you are, and it's okay that everybody may not like that. It is okay that it's not comfortable for everyone. How you feel? Because I'd rather walk in the room and everybody be uncomfortable and I'd be just fine than to walk in the room and I'm being myself, than to walk in the room trying to pretend to be somebody else. Because I don't do well at faking the funk. I don't do well at faking the funk around people I don't like, so I definitely can't do it for a long period of time, and I definitely can't do it for extended time. I'd be like, I'd rather just go on leave. You want me to leave?
I happen to know that to be true.
Yes, ma'am. You want me to go on leave before I mess around and tear the club up. So I'd be like, okay, let me go.
Yeah, but in this season, not just the holiday season, but in this dispensation, we're coming out of 2025, going into 2026, and I see a lot of things that's happening in 2025 that weren't so positive, and then we're on our way into something new. How good was 2025 to you?
I gotta say, for me, God has always been so gracious and so giving to me. So I have to say, for me, 2025 was absolutely extraordinary. I learned how to just be me and how to be cool with it. Like, I don't have to dress it up. I ain't got to put it on a nice outfit. I can just be me. And that's what I enjoy the most. I enjoy walking into life and just being who I am. I ain't got to fake the funk. It ain't no new outfit. I don't have to do anything special. So I enjoy it myself. My oldest child is 23 and my baby is 14. It's a new stage of life for me. And I just turned 50. So it's a new stage of life for me. It's all brand new.
So what would be at least 3 highlights from 2025?
Girl, first of all, my birthday party, which was off the hinges. Definitely my birthday party, because for me, it was more of a celebration than anything else. I guess another big thing that happened in 2025 is I had my knee replaced. And that was a very humbling experience for me. I have an amazing husband who loves me. But it was very humbling for me because I am very much so self-sufficient. So having to be placed in a place where you have to ask for everything. If I wanted to go to the bathroom, I had to wake my husband up and say, hey, I got potty. I need your help. It was a hard thing for me to be able to, or to even be in a position where if I wanted something, I couldn't even get up and go get it for a period of time, because it was brand new, and so that was kind of crazy for me. And then I think the other thing that happened in 2025 that was so different is that I'm teaching 6 classes a day. I'm teaching 3 single classes and 3 co-taught classes. So I'm busy on a regular day. So I'm super busy now that, my teaching schedule is what it is. So it was really, I was busy. And doing all of that coming off of a knee replacement.
Right.
Because I had my knee replaced in June. And then the end of July, I was back at work.
That was like no stopping.
Well, and that was awesome, but the sad part about that is when people see you as Superwoman, they forget you're not Superwoman 24 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So there are times when I'm hurting, there are times when I don't feel well, and nobody, if I say I don't feel well, they be like, oh, okay then. So there's no, oh my gosh, let me help you. Yeah, that doesn't happen. They're like, you good, you straight, because when you become so strong, people get used to that. They don't think you ever hurt.
I think that falls into the mentality of the black woman. The black woman is strong. The black woman can handle it because the black woman is strong. And though we are strong and resilient, I'm going to stay a lady. I'm gonna be strong, resilient, feminine, and soft at the same time. I ain't gonna run out there in the middle of the street and try to hold up traffic for you. Devil is a lie. When God got somebody to hold that traffic up, He gonna send whoever He got to hold it up. But I think there's a time when you gotta know when to be strong and when not to be strong. My blessing in your situation was that you had Tonio there for you. Even when I was praying for you, I knew and I was believing God, and I was calling Him too.
Of course, yeah. My crew ain't about no jokes, baby. They was like, we trust you. Where she at? Let me hear breathe, because we'll be over there in 15 minutes.
But I was so happy that you had someone there with you that was in the storm. We realized he's your husband, so we have to give him the right to be your husband. Yeah. But we was definitely supportive and wishing and just praying for God to cover you.
And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that you were. But it was a very uncomfortable space. It was uncomfortable for him, and it was very uncomfortable for me because my husband is isolative. He wants to take care of me, but he don't want nobody else.
You can get over that.
He just won't. and he was so scared that something would happen, something would go wrong, to where he was overprotective. You couldn't get to me. You could barely talk to me because, number one, I was lucid in and out. But then even when I wasn't, my husband he kept me. He was just very super duper protective, and he's protective anyway. But he was super duper protective because, one part of it, he know my crew ain't about no jokes. But the other part of it is he was so scared that something would go wrong.
Well, I can say that my brother-in-law did real well.
He did
my brother-in-law did what he did when he did what he did. That part, he did real well, and I'm so proud of him. And he was one of the things I was praying for God to keep him strong to get you through that, because I realized, as your husband, that's his position and his place. Mm-hmm. But we were definitely backing you up in prayers. In the year 2025, this year's about out. Mm-hmm. Those were the highlights. Mm-hmm. So what was the hard? What was the low? What was, if you could speak to someone struggling with something that it just came out of this in this year, how would you encourage them to move forward?
I would encourage them to move forward by saying, move. Listen, move. Don't sit on it. Don't waste any more time piddling over what you thought. Move.
But he broke my heart.
A journey of 1,000 miles will not begin until you take the first step. And let me tell you something. You can do it broken-hearted. You can do it broken-kneed. You can do it broken-armed. You can do it with one eye. You see what I'm saying? You can do it. But you have got to tell yourself, whatever thing that is saying, oh, but I can't do it because of this, you can do it. How bad do you want it? Because when you get to that, how bad do you want it? When you get there, it don't matter no more. I remember My husband was like, Key, you really driving me crazy. Because I would set like, little obstacle courses for myself and stuff. My husband would be like, if she falls, they gonna kill me. But, I would set obstacle courses for myself at the house because I wasn't going nowhere. But I would just do things and he would be like, Key, why you just didn't ask me to do it? But because I wanted to do it myself. I'm child after day 2. I was like, I can't do this. This is crazy. And I wanted to be able to get off the bed by myself. And I couldn't. Like I literally could not move the leg. And it felt like 2 tons. And so I would have to, they had something that would lift my leg up and I could move it over and then I could put it down. And then I would have to try to get up and move. And so I would just I was just crazy. I was like a 2-year-old. 2-year-olds are very creative. And so I was like a 2-year-old. I was like, I know what I'm going to do. And my husband would be over there like, oh God, Lord help her go to sleep, please, because she driving me crazy. And so, and he would, and after he would say, man, I just needed a break from you. But he refused to leave. He would be like, I just need a break. And my girls was like, oh, we'll come over. We'll take her for a while. And he'd be like, no, I'm straight. I'm fine. I'll just deal with it. But I was like a 2-year-old. I was trapped in a room. For a person that moves and goes.
It's Crystal with CW Tax Solutions, where we make taxes simple, stress-free, and smart. Whether you're a business owner or just trying to get your finances in order, we help you keep more of what you earn and plan ahead for next year. We service all 50 states, so don't wait for tax season. Prepare now and stay ready. Call CW Tax Solutions at 706-888-3891 or visit us in Sylacauga, Alabama. CW Tax Solutions, where clarity meets confidence.
All the time for almost 3 months. I was at home. It wasn't nothing to wash. It wasn't nothing to clean. I did all that before I had surgery. My son was with his grandparents. So it was just me and my husband. I was driving him crazy. He was driving me crazy because I was thinking, today, my new journey, I'm going to the living room when ain't nobody watching. You know how 2-year-olds, they wait. Oh, ain't nobody watching. Let me go. Let me hurry up. And then, my husband be like, you don't think I hear you trying to move? Where's you going? So it was different things. But I would say move. Stop crying and whining about it. And you know what? There's a time, and let me say this, because I am that strong friend. I'm the one that everybody think ain't never going. No, I go through things, but they just see it and it just like brushes off. I would say take that time. Plenty of times I have had to just go, get off by myself and let it all out. Cry, scream, yell, throw some stuff, kick something. Go to the gym and kickbox, do whatever you got to do. But after you've done that, give yourself time to feel however you want to feel. But you can't stay there long because that's the trick of the enemy. When you get there and you done all of that, now you want to sit in it. You can't sit. You done got it all out. Now you got to get started because there are other things that need to be taken care of.
Well, we're wrapping up this year, and I personally feel some kind of way about the holidays. I love the holidays. It was a great time for me to see my children and my family, my grandkids and everything. But in my transition of, you are just now getting to the point where your children are leaving, and Trayon has got a minute before he go anywhere. But my own mind gone. You know what I'm saying? They go and they come and they see about it. So for me, it's always been about what am I going to do? And maybe they'll come see me for the holidays. Maybe they won't. You know what I'm saying? I know I can talk to them and call them anytime I want to. I could go to a relative house, or I could find a way. So my mind gets caught up in a lot of things throughout the holidays.
It's the repositioning of where you are, because you come from being somebody's everything to being somebody's. It's a thing. I'm gonna go by my mama's house, see what she doing. So it's a big difference, and you do have those moments. But that's why you have a life of your own, and you have to always remember: I love my husband, I love my children, I love my family, but I have a life of my own that has nothing to do with anybody else but me. There are things I like by myself. Baby, I will go take myself out to eat. Honey, me and Key be at the table like, what you want, boo? You want that? Girl, let's get that. You know what I'm saying? I will sit down and have a meal by myself and entertain myself. Baby, I go to the movies by myself on purpose. I be hiding out. My husband be like, "Where you at? The movie? What you need?" So I go to the movies. I take myself out to eat. I go for walks. I go to the gym. I have a life that doesn't need anybody else. I'm okay with me. I love spending time with me. When you are, and here's the hard part: when you are healed, then you don't have that problem. When you are healing, sometimes you bump into those places that are still sore, and it's hard to do.
I know for me, it's a constant state of mind. I'm always thinking about where they are, what are they doing. And my grandkids, okay, maybe I'll call them today, maybe I won't. So I guess I'm still healing
Yeah.
because I definitely identify the importance and the value in that. However, I have times when I'm still struggling with it.
Well, I think a big part of it is sometimes, and you have to do the personal work, but sometimes you have to forgive yourself. Because there are things in your life that maybe you just haven't forgiven yourself for. Maybe you just haven't said, "Girl, you really be tripping, girl." You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to forgive you, but please cut it out. So maybe that's it. When you have unhealed places, that's how you know you got to do some work. Because if somebody bumps it, it's sore. It don't feel good. And you're tired. And you know what I'm saying? And so you have to understand that there are unhealed things, and you don't have to open up everything like on Christmas morning, how the kids get the whole flow full of stuff. You ain't got to open up everything at one time. But you got to know that there's something there that needs to be healed, and you got to start unwrapping those things. Because as you unwrap them, you got to give yourself time to deal with what you unwrapped. Having a broken heart, having somebody walk out on you, having somebody mistreat you, being lied to, being taken advantage of, people don't pay your bills on time, stealing money. All of those things are things that you have to heal from. Right. And if you don't heal from them, what happens is you tell yourself you healed until somebody bump into it. And then you because you're not healed. You just threw a bad, imagine having a spot on your leg. Come on, Holy Spirit. This knee. Imagine if it didn't get healed the way it needed to. So when they took off the bandage, if I didn't get the staples out, imagine somebody bumping into it. It was excruciating. My husband asked me, please let my hand go. When she was taking out the 37 stitches that were down my leg. And it took 37. To take that knee apart, put it back together, and it took 37 stitches. And I was in a waterproof bandage for like 2 months. And then once they took the waterproof bandage off, then from there, they a day after they took it off, they came in and they took the stitches out. They took the staples out, and the staples had to be taken out one by one. And
that
so as they did, it's a part of the healing process. But if you don't go through that process, you can't heal. Because even after she took the staples out, the first thing she said is you can't cover it up.
So you got to be real careful.
She said you can't. She said don't cover it up. And my physical therapist and my nurse came to me. She said don't cover it up. And I was like, excuse me. She said, yeah, it got to heal. Don't cover it up. And she was like, I see you on Wednesday.
It's fresh air.
You know what I'm saying? I see you on Wednesday. So those are just like that knee. There are things in your life that, they look like they got a scab on them and they look good, but the wrong person bump into it, baby, that's some pain.
That's some pain.
Listen, baby, I got on the bed that night after she took them staples out and rubbed the wrong way. I was over there in prayer with the Lord, like, Jesus, I won't say right now, if you could just help your girl. I'm so serious because that type of pain. It was that type of pain. And there are places in your life and spaces in your life that are unhealed. If you still can't do what you do without having the emotional attachments, there's some things that are not.
This episode of Becoming the Best Version is sponsored by the Law Office of Jazz Jordan, the injury firm that fights for you. If you've been hurt in a car accident, on the job, or due to someone else's negligence, you shouldn't have to face insurance companies alone. Jazz Jordan is committed to getting you the compensation you deserve while you focus on healing and becoming the best version of yourself. So if you or someone you know has been injured, reach out to the Law Office of Jazz Jordan. They don't get paid unless you win, because your recovery, your rights, and your future matter.
Healed. And not saying you got to fix it all at one time, but in order to get anything done, you got to know that it's broke. Because how many times have you been using something and you didn't have a clue it was broke? You were like, I thought that how it worked.
Oh,
And
why
just cause it did what you needed it to do, but that ain't the way it was supposed to do.
Okay. Have you ever broke something, put it up, forgot you broke it, and came back to use it again?
And was over there like, I don't even know, this thing ain't
ain't
never
know
worked
this
like this.
thing
Now, I
doing
don't
it.
know. But yes, several times. But you have to, in healing, you listen. It was a journey. It was a journey. And I'm talking about from a broken heart, from a broken home, from a broken marriage, from broken relationships. It was a journey. It was a journey. And even having a husband and children. And I have a blended family. You know what I'm saying? Even having all of those things, it has been work. And not just work for them, work for me. Because what you give off,
That's what you get.
everybody else is eating from that plate. When you're a woman in a house, you are the thermostat. You set the temperature. So if you in here wilding out, everybody in this joint gonna be on 10. So you as the thermostat, you gotta set a temperature that everybody can live with. It can't just be good for you. And everybody else in here sweating to the oldies. You know what I'm saying? My husband would tell you, listen, we went back and forth so much about the air and the heat. I just went and bought me a heater and put it on my side of the bed because after surgery I was freezing. And I was like, look, and my husband is hot natured. He's sweating, I'm freezing. And I was like, okay, maybe we need to sleep somewhere else because this ain't working. So you have to work together. It's a working situation. You got to work together. You have to find out what works, and you have to become a team.
I think in this dispensation of going into 2026, it's not just enough for us to identify what needs to be fixed or healed within ourselves, and also to start that work to healing within ourselves, but we have to be conscious about the environments that we go into when we heal. Because a lot of times we may have all the good intentions to do great things, and we may have decided and understood, and we got the assignment. We understand the assignment. However, we put ourselves in environments that's not conducive to the completion of the assignment.
I often say people who are trying to lose weight do not need to be on the cookie aisle. You ain't got no reason looking at Oreos. What you looking at them for? Because they will jump in your basket and go home with you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand that. You have to know that you have limitations. And you have to be okay with telling other people, oh, I got limitations. I can't go over Earl house. Cause I know the type of stuff Earl and them do. So I'm gonna call y'all. Let me know when y'all leave. So you have to know that. You know, I say this in jest, but it's true. Crackheads should not hang out at the crack house. You will be smoking rocks in 15 minutes. So you gotta talk about that
environment.
You gotta
have to
yeah.
go. If you want it to work, you got to put yourself in a place that helps it to work. And that's with pretty much anything. But I know healing is a choice.
And it's a choice in the beginning, and then it becomes a decision. Because, you could choose anything for 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, I choose to be happy. Then the 15 minutes up, now what you choosing. So when you make a choice, then you have to make a decision. Because when you make a decision, every other choice that you make after that leads you back to the decision that you made. I would like to lose weight. So therefore, I'm not going down the cookie. I know I need to stay on the perimeter of the stove. I don't need to be over there where the crackles at. I don't need to see no Oreos. Now, I ain't going over there. Let me go over here where these apples at. And I hate apples. So, you know what I'm saying? Let me go over here because I need to be over here because this is where I'm going.
Right.
This is where I'm at. But this is where I'm going. And when you change your trajectory, you can move different.
Your choices become your decisions. That is big. I think that's a lot because you're right, because we do choose for a minute, but then when we're not choosing, we go, oh, well, I know Bobby Earl called me last week. Let me go.
And he just got paid.
Girl,
So he done called about 3 times. He said he just want to see.
He like Santa Claus, girl.
Look, he said he just want to know if I want a plate from Chester's. Because he know I like them real, girl. He showed up at my job with a real plate. He was like, I got this plate. You want to come down here and talk to me? So you have to put yourself in a situation to say. You got to
tell Bobby Earl no.
I don't even like Chester's no more. I don't even eat that no more. You know what I'm saying? But you have to do that. And once you choose, you have to keep choosing. And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
The hard part is to keep choosing what you know is right, even though it doesn't feel good anymore. Like, it was fun in the beginning.
Right.
You know, oh, yeah, girl, I'm going to lose weight because I'm going to the gym. Okay, 3 weeks in, you sick of the people at the gym. One more time.
You're hurting.
Look, one more time, if you get there and Keisha on your treadmill, you might push her. You know what I'm saying? Because the heifer know you're coming. She's just trying to get. So you see what I'm saying? Now you still got to choose to go.
Right.
You know, you still got to choose. For me,
you got to follow up the decision. You made a choice. Now your decision has to be to stick with the choice that you made.
Because that's what you made, and that happens in relationships. It happens in marriage. Marriage is a entity all its own, and you have to keep in mind. First of all, you got to keep in mind, how'd you get married? Because did you get married to serve God, or did you get married because you just wanted a dress and a party? And let me say this, baby, if you want a dress and a party, go buy the biggest dress you can find and throw yourself the best party ever. Don't marry nobody's son if you're not ready to be a wife, because these rings are more expensive than you think they are. And after the beauty shines off, and ain't nobody talking about your ring no more, you're still left to do the job that you told God you would do. I am constantly reminded that I made a commitment and a covenant with God. And that covenant does not always make me happy with the person that I'm dealing with.
But see, that's different. I mean, that is the difference. Marriage, the covenant in marriage, or the party, because it's definitely nothing to be played with. And it's definitely a part of it. It matures you, it grows you, it forms you, and it makes you into who God is trying to. I heard a preacher on YouTube say that when a person gets married, they agree to die.
Every day.
A
couple of times a day.
They said because God told the man to love the woman like he loved the church, and he died for the church. So if you want to get married, what you saying is, I'm ready to die.
Every day. A couple of times a day. On stuff you don't feel like you should be on this hill dying for. But you got to get on up there and lay on down and nod and say, oh, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Yeah, absolutely. And there are going to be moments where you feel like you are not wrong. There are several moments I felt like, really? But someone said to me, do you want peace or do you want to win? I prefer peace. So
wow.
Moving into 2026, I think I'll continue to take the same stand. I prefer peace.
I think that with all the stuff going on in the world today, peace seems like a amicable decision. Peace seems like something that anybody with a taste of grain of sense ought to want. But hey, that's just a thought process.
People like to say they want stuff that they really don't want.
I think that life is choice driven. I heard you say that several times. Life is choice driven. And the choices we make in this life drive us. They either drive us or they draw us. But they have purpose. This has been a great day here at Becoming the Best Version. I am Annietta Davis, and I had an awesome conversation today with my sister and closest and best friends. I have several sisters. These are pictures of my sisters when you get a chance. But we didn't do a regular interview today. We just kind of sat back and chat.
She lied to me, y'all. She brought me on false pretenses. I never do nothing.
I did that because I know my sister is a wealth of knowledge, and I know that when given a chance and an opportunity to inspire, she would go above and beyond. That's her natural personality. I think in this life is an interesting state of events, and right when you think you know everything, you find out that guess what? You don't. You're still trying to figure it out. This has been a great day here at Becoming the Best Version, a path to a better person. I hope to see you next time. Like, share, subscribe, join the tribe.